Okay, I'm pissed about a couple things on this episode of Magi. For one, I had to wait this long just to actually watch this episode because Crunchyroll decided they wanted to be lazy for the subs. Number two, why was the animation so bad in this episode? I mean, I'm not one to rage, and I'm fine with some animation in anime, I'm fine with it. But why would you make the animation this bad in the beginning of a war? The major buildup of this entire freaking season 2 of Magi. Why would you do this? There were so many rehashed still frames in this episode that it made me want to puke. I'm not going to say this episode was bad. It had good action, but the animation really just drug it down. It was literally like strangling this entire episode because the animation did not back up what this episode's actual plot was trying to achieve. So it didn't really leave me with some really good moments. It had the epic freaking music to make me so hyped up for the fights. It had the great set of characters, great voice acting, but the animation did not hold this episode up. It really did not. I mean, it was just so repulsive. Some moments in this episode, I mean, it was really downright just bad. I don't know if anyone else noticed it, but did you not see how many freaking still frames we had of just like the Roman Empire just, you know, constantly being viewed at from the side? It was just terrible. And but let's not even get me into the finale's actual squad. The way we saw the way their faces was animated with the freaking scar on one of their mouths. That was just stupid. That was so ugly. It wasn't the point of that. It was just terrible. They got freaking lazy in this episode. You can really see the laziness in this episode. And, you know, hopefully next episode has better animation than this. There was scenes in this episode that was good, but the quality completely just fluctuated in this entire episode, which was not good. Getting off the animation, I liked this episode. I really liked this episode, and it felt like it had a lot of good action to it. I loved the conclusion of this episode, pretty much, with the cliffhanger. Pretty much, Aladdin is right there protecting Titus against the entire Finale's corpse and saying that he's going to solve the problems peacefully. So, I like this. I like the entire conclusion of it. And Mogamet having that freaking epic Magi cannon that just fires a nuclear bomb was like, oh my god! So, I like that. Like I said, I'm not hating on this episode. I love Magi, but I just can't stand the way they animated it. It was just so bad. So, I like this episode. It focused right with the pacing. The pacing was fine in the war. We got 3-layer freaking magical walls that are impenetrable, and we find out about science and gunpowder, that pretty much like the Liam Empire is focusing more on science and working to build their society by themselves without magic, which makes it very interesting, really, because this entire episode really brought up something interesting in my mind. Scientists. They were using science, and then we got freaking magicians. I think they're the smartest. So, we got two sides. Magicians that use magic, and we got scientists that use equally their own set of magic with, you know, chemicals and different stuff. So, it's really cool to actually see these different elements in Magi, and I never thought we would get to see something like this. So, I like the progression with the way we're getting to see the way the war is starting to come into place, and we still haven't got to see the Ko-Empire yet. I wonder what kind of role they're going to actually play in this series later on. I mean, is it going to be a 3-way freaking war, or is it just going to be a 2-way war? Is Magnastrat going to get freaking crushed? Is Liam Empire going to get crushed? I mean, who is going to come out on freaking top? Now, I like this episode, but one thing I noticed in particular that kind of bugged me, where the hell was Alibaba? He was riding on the ship of Liam Empire with the Finales Corp, but why the hell was he not in that entire episode? Why was he not in this episode when we saw them fighting everybody in the war already? So, I'm just curious about that. I'm really wondering about that entire section, but I love the way this episode was, and hopefully next episode has a lot better animation, but still manages to continue with the awesome battle scenes. I cannot wait. Everybody, tell me what you think about this episode. Hope you all have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please stay safe. Chibi out.